didn't maybe state clearly is that, once I work with a client to be on brand and we've kind of established that branding foundation, it's really about being that all the time, out in the world. So, your brand is going to be a reflection of who you are, no matter where you are. If it's on social media, in a meeting, out in a restaurant, meeting with a client, it has to be consistent and constant. So you want to be consistent with the messaging, and that's really, really important as an entrepreneur, to really just stay true to your brand so people really can connect with what it is that you do well, and not confuse your audience by posting a bunch of things, that may confuse your audience about what it actually is that you do in your business. So that's really important, to be consistent.
You condense your message into something that's a lot more specific, so that no matter who asks you what you do, it's really the same thing for everybody. It avoids confusion. And, for some,
Right.
it's easier than others, but it's really, really important, especially, things that I do and other people out there that's a little bit outside the box. It's really, really important if you can't explain it in a one liner, at least that one liner is going to get somebody interested in talking to you about learning more about what you're doing. So.
Right. Well said. Yeah.
Right.
And because it takes a little bit to get that together, your elevator pitch or your brand statement in a group. So, and it's very effective when it's really on brand. So, to your point.
We've talked about, business branding in the past. And I think something that's important to remember, we discussed it for businesses, is that if you don't choose your brand, and if you don't put that forward, the folks around you are going to choose it for you. They will create a brand that they think represents you if you don't make the effort to create your own brand.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Perception is reality, and you're right. They will create what they perceive to be as true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have to really take ownership in that and make a decision. So, and I still have, people I talk to out there still not committed to their brand, because they don't want to focus on one thing. They want to offer a lot of things. And so it depends, and I talk with some people, it depends on what networking group they go to, that they show up with that hat on for what they can offer. And it's really not something that I recommend. I recommend that if you're not sure about what your core signature offer is going to be, to really work on that, because you must have an umbrella over everything else that you offer. So everyone has like a signature service that they provide, that they're known for, whether they like it or not. They're known for that because they've been providing it for years, or they're just known for that. They get referred most for it. And so that could turn into like an umbrella service offering. And then underneath that could be a whole bunch of other things that they also do. But they always market themselves with the one thing that they're known for, which will open more doors with the things that are underneath that they serve. And that's just a good way to package multiple services that a company has to offer. An entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs, like all of us, a lot of us offer a lot of different things as an entrepreneur. We have multiple streams of income. So that can get confusing for an entrepreneur and how to brand. And I see it all the time. So that's what I recommend. Some of the work that we do is to really discern what is that core offering that people know, like, and trust you for the most, and work from there if they like that.
Yeah, and I would imagine that it starts with a benefit statement of what you're providing as far as what the results are. And then when you talk about the different offers, those are the how-tos. But it's the what you're doing and then the how you're doing things first. And I think, that's the authentic self, or finding your purpose and passion and that kind of thing. But it's all got to spring from that. And obviously, when we're talking at networking meetings, we talk about people not being there to buy anything. So people don't really care what your offer for the day is, but they do care about what benefits you're offering, because if they're going to be referring people to you, they have to know and trust you for that.
Yes, clarity helps. Clarity helps with everything, with referrals, with more business. And when you're not clear and you have a lot of other, ideas of what you think you're going to offer, depending on where you are, it doesn't help people to help you.
Now, we've been talking a lot about the business owner and how this is used for entrepreneurs. What about job seekers? How can they use personal branding?
Yeah. Oh, job seekers. It is the core ingredient that helps them land a job, in my opinion. It is something that, again, it starts with clarity and purpose and distinction, right? So, and it helps with the career portfolio. So identifying an executive professional's personal brand always helps with the development of the career materials after, because the positioning of the resume is everything to open the door, right? So after, it really helps to break open. I mean, my resume is open doors regardless. I mean, results guaranteed, they just do. And that's the power of personal branding, because if you really powerfully brand yourself on a resume, it could also up your income. It could squeeze out the competitors. It helps you land the job over everybody else, and so forth. And it's just a guaranteed way to up level your career. Yeah.
All right. So for a job seeker, you're in front of somebody for 10, 20, maybe half an hour to make your impression. You've got the resume. How do you get your authentic self across with such limited tools and limited time?
Well, there's strategy in that, Eric, because in the beginning, you want to build rapport with the interviewer first anyway, before you get into the interview. And the way you're going to communicate how you've succeeded along the way in your career is what's going to help you to stand out in front of that employer. So I work with my clients on developing stories about in their career thread, their career timeline over the years that mostly stood out over, let's say, a decade or however long they're in, their career, either their position or their entire career thread, the timeline. So there's like 3 or 4 to 5 milestones that most people achieve in their career that's worth standing out, and the way they share that story with the interviewer helps them stand out. So it's all communication strategies and the way they're going to present themselves that is the way it works best.
So you're actually going back essentially before they've created their brand, looking through all of the things that they've accomplished, all the jobs and you're creating a narrative out of all of that.
Right. Yeah. Everyone has a career thread that just, there's a story, the way the career path has happened. And so I always unearth what that story is, how they got to any point in their career and any job that they've had. So yes, there's some of that discovery in our sessions, in addition to the assessments that I also provide as well. So the personal brand assessment and a couple other things as well. Mm-hmm. So it's coaching work. It really is. It takes a little bit of time to unearth all that with a client and then put it back together, and then work with a client on the interview strategy, on negotiation, on communication, on how they're going to present themselves in the interview. All of that coaching is goes together, and it works together as a package to present and promote yourself. And then, clients use it for networking as well. So all the things they learn, they become better communicating who they are and what they do, what they're passionate about. And it's easier for them to network as well, and also interview. So,
Right, so whether it's an entrepreneur or a job seeker, what you've really been saying is there's a lot of different elements that you have to use to create that brand. And consistency is really important because you don't want to be off message.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Summarize that perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why it's a process. It's not a, it's a few sessions, you have to, it's not fast. So it is a few sessions, and And then the marketing and promotion and creation of that is, the next part of, that's the evolution of the discovery, is to putting all that together and then bringing it to market is the third piece, whether it's for a job or to get clients. So, and I teach this too on, I have a class coming up in April. It's an 8-week class that that will be helping entrepreneurs to really unearth their brand, put it together, package, promote, and sell their services, how to price their services, and really how to go to market and to earn clients.
All right, we're coming up on the end of our time. So
that was fast.
Yeah, it does tend to go quickly. So in a nutshell, what do you think is the big advantage people get from creating their personal brand?
Wow. So a lot of things. They get a job. They make more money. They have clarity in communicating who they are. They have the opportunity to advance themselves in their current position at work. They can launch a new product from their business if they're wanting to branch out into something new.
So it really is a building block for all sorts of success.
Oh, I believe so. Yes. I believe so. Yeah, I've seen it work tremendously over the years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the big benefits too is to consistently communicate comfortably what you do instead of being all over the place when somebody asks you a question. It's like automatic.
Yeah, and it involves decision making on that too. Like I mentioned before, it's making that decision of what you want to stand for. In your business as an entrepreneur, if you're offering many things, what is it that you want to stand for the most? And same in your career. This is how a lot of people transition from a job they don't like into something they really want to do. And it's really about standing in for your true purpose and being willing to be all in with it. Yeah.
Great. All right. So if our listeners want to get more information on your classes, your services, where can they get it?
Right. On my website. My class isn't listed yet. It's about to be uploaded on this Wednesday. But my website is www.cebranding for competitive edge branding. So cebranding.com.
Great. Mm-hmm. Chip, what do you think is the big takeaway for this week?
I think we just listed everything, but the bottom line is it's really good for yourself to find your purpose and your passion, your authentic self, and what your personal brand does is it makes you that out in the public. And what I would just recommend is there's a whole lot of things that go into that, just like Loretta says. So once you want to get going with it, go see somebody like Loretta and get some coaching and put that whole thing together. And you're going to feel awesome once you do.
Yeah, I think your personal brand is really showing people who you are. And that authenticity reaches people. It helps you in all sorts of ways. Being consistent about it lets people know that this is really who you are.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Success Showcase. You can catch us every week at xvadio.com/podcasts. You can also find us on the iTunes Store, the Apple Podcasts app, iHeartRadio app, Spotify, and wherever you find podcasts. Remember, make this your best week ever and make next week even better. See you then.